Okay. Well, thank you, and welcome to the first USPS webinar for members of the ICED family of franchises. And we're rolling out a new strategy that the Postal Service has developed that's going to be, I think, particularly attractive to you as a provider of mailing solutions. So let's get started. The agenda today is to first talk a little bit about how this all got started, and then about the new product called Every Door Direct Mail. But those of you that are experienced mailers may have heard of something called simplified addressing. So I'm going to explain how that has now evolved and calling it Simplified Addressing Remix. And then how you as a center can make it profitable for you, and just show you what some other folks have been doing, and actually show you some sample mail pieces. Then we'll give you all the tools that you'll need to get started. And let me add some housekeeping notes here that everyone's line has been muted. And if you do have questions or comments, we invite you to please submit that in the chat Q&A box. And if we are unable to get to all of those questions throughout the course of this webinar, what we will do is record those questions and provide the answers to you either through email, or it will be posted to your internal site, to your website. Okay, so I think we really are ready to go. ICED Houston is actually what's called a premier customer for the Postal Service. That's kind of a category we afford to our best customers that we then provide support to, that we can keep the mailing experience working well for you, because we realize it's an important part of your business. And I say that to indicate that what is provided is strategy support, things to bring the latest and greatest, and the way to utilize mail in the most profitable and advantageous way for your business. And then we also have service support, so that if there are problems that need to be troubleshooted or worked out, there is a support mechanism in place there as well. And we're going to introduce you and give you all the contact information you need, because we're actually going to extend that support. We're going to test it here to all of you as part of the family. So there's power in numbers. We appreciate all that you do, and we are going to hopefully put some things in place that will help you be seen as part of the ICED family. And I'd like Jay to take a minute and kind of explain to you a little bit as a welcome what has happened so far. So go ahead, Jay.
Yes, Kathy, thank you. And because of all the volume that our print centers do in direct mail, we are considered a premier customer, so that does bring some additional tools and resources to bear. And Kathy has been working with us for the past 2 months to point out some of those the benefits, resources, and tools. As I said, we've been working on this EDDM program for about 2 months, and thanks to Kathy for working hard to make sure we're aware of all these new tools and programs, and we're looking forward to additional programs coming out here in the near future. We're also working with the Pack and Ship centers on a program that can help them reduce their costs. So again, thanks to Kathy, and there'll be more coming in the future. Kathy?
Thank you. And I just unmuted. He doesn't realize it, but my manager is on the line, Carol Fudge, and soon to be a gentleman by the name of Keith Parmalee. And I have unmuted your line, Keith, if you would like to take a moment. I know this is a surprise, but just say hello and meet the ICED family. Are you with us, Keith? Okay, maybe that was too much of a surprise. Let me go ahead and continue on. All right then, what we are going to do today is to talk about, as I said, the Simplified Addressing Remix. believe it or not, the Postal Service in January actually removed a restriction. Now, the earth isn't trembling here. I don't know if you've got lightning or anything wherever you are, but that's kind of new for us, that we are actually making it easier for mailers to mail. What was previously known as simplified addressing in rural communities, meaning that someone could actually mail to every address in a neighborhood without having to have an address on the piece or without having a name on the piece, was called simplified addressing. Well, that has now been extended to city areas. City neighborhoods can now enjoy receiving mail. You as a business can now offer the ability for your customers to touch every person in a zip code, in a neighborhood, in a community without having to have a mailing list. It is right now restricted to flat size mail. So before we get the question in chat, when will it go to letters, let me tell you that I don't know. But rest assured, it is high on the priority list of making it available, because we know that will unleash so much opportunity for you to gather in new customers and to develop new mailings. So Every Door Direct Mail actually has two versions, so to speak. There's a retail version, which will allow you to go to the actual post office that's going to deliver that mail, and without a permit, give us the mail, pay for it with cash, check, or credit card, just as simple as that. If you do currently have a permit, you can go ahead and utilize that permit. You do have to check in at the bulk mail unit, but you can take it to that retail unit then and get that lowest postage rate and get it directly into the unit so that it can be delivered almost the next couple of days, if not the next day. I'm going to make available either through your shared access, your network. What is that called again, Jay?
We are posting that to the Owners Network. Thanks for sending those files, and we should have those up within a couple of days.
All right. Well, that will be available to you, and it just basically spells out what the difference is between that bulk mail, if you've already got a permit and are familiar with mailing through that entry level, or if you want to go straight to the post office, first-time mailer, very simple, and deposit the mail. We, in fact, give you all the tools you'll need in terms of the paperwork, in terms of the actual number of pieces, how to prepare that. We'll even give you the format of what you place on the mail piece. So it really is simplified mail at its best, and we'll show you and give you the website for that, for those tools in just a minute. Well, how do you make money? Actually, what I would recommend that you do is not sell EDDM. That's surprising. What I recommend you do is sell the value. In other words, your businesses or customers have a need to get a message out or to invite folks to their place of business, and they have many choices for which to do that. They may already be doing some type of advertising, or maybe they need your help as a marketing professional to guide them into what the best resource is for them to use. Well, let's talk a little bit about what those choices might be. First off, on any given day, most of us are being barraged by close to 3,000 messages a day, marketing messages. And we pay attention maybe to 50 is what the studies are showing, and at the end of the day, we may positively remember 4. So what's going to best fit your customers' needs or your business needs? Let's take an example of somebody that's got about $3,000 to spend on advertising. Let's say they take a look at the newspaper. Well, the advantages are you do get a pretty quick turnaround and a fairly broad reach. But the drawback is it has a short lifespan. In this morning's news, maybe this evening's bottom of the birdcage, or who knows, wrap up the fish or the dinner. And then you're competing with other ads, and that $3,000 may buy 3 by 4 inch ad, and you can even run it 15 times in a mid-sized market through the local paper. So it has its strengths and weaknesses as well. All right, what if you advertise or your customer advertises through one of the local free magazines? Well, the strength is it's very low cost, which is great, but the drawback is probably all of your competition is in there too. So you've got a lot of ad clutter and a lot of competition in those magazines. And they have long lead times, which means you've got to get your copy to them well in advance. And if you've got a quick turnaround for a quick announcement like a sale, that may not be the best medium for you to select. What about the radio? Hey, that's very impressive to know that you've got the strength and the image to be on the radio, and it's got a great broad reach, and that could be an option for you. The drawback is that the primetime spots may be limited for you to get in, so your spot may run kind of late in the evening or at an opportunity when your market is or your target is not really listening. The other thing is just general attention span these days. Most of us are tuning to another channel when the commercials come on, and maybe you're reaching folks that aren't really your customers. That $3,000 spent on the radio, you could get a 60-second spot that could run a couple times a day for a month. And then there's the ever-popular email. Very low cost, real quick. You can measure the responses. The drawbacks are something called a delete button and spam blockers. I know I found plenty of messages that I was looking for and wondering where it could be. My system just automatically started sending it to junk. I don't know why. And then there's just a lot of clutter. There's a lot of email just in our boxes both at work and at home. The facts about mail are that you can measure. If you put a creditable offer there and a device that gets them to bring either the coupon, call the phone number, come to the website in such a way that you can track the responses, it is an ideal measurement tool for who's responding to your offers. And then it's tangible and portable, which means that coupon can rest in a purse or a pocket on the refrigerator for the length of your offer. And it can be shared, and then you can manage mail. In fact, as those statistics show, 49% of people prefer, if something's going to be unsolicited, they would prefer to have it in mail because it gives them that control of when and where they go ahead and take a look at that message. Some other facts say that over 3/4 of people read mail that comes from retailers, and that the CEO of the home, that woman aged 35 to 49, are the most dedicated mail readers. The Direct Marketing Association has studied where the dollars come from advertising, and they find that mail, every $1 returns $12 in sales. So it is profitable when it's done correctly. All right, that same $3,000, if it's placed and used for an Every Door Direct Mail campaign, you could potentially reach 7,500 prospects twice, which would equate to about $2,000 in postage, leaving over $800 for print production and, of course, your profit. So based on your formats or how you produce that piece will depend on the kind of profits you're able to keep. And I'd like to give Jay a minute to speak to that and offer any other comments he would on the profitability of Every Door Direct Mail for your centers.
Yeah, obviously, the 870, that's probably based on a 4-up piece. With the size for the flats that we need to use now, you're probably going to be printing on a 12 by 18 or 13 by 19, and I would imagine it'll probably be 2 or 3 up because of the larger size. So the price might come up a little bit for your print production, but I still think it leaves a lot of room for margin here.
Thank you, Jay. Well, how do you get started? And the first thing you do is you register. The Postal Service wants you to get a customer registration ID. It's a very light registration, just asks basically for the name of your company and an address. And the fact is, if you're already mailing with your permit or have registered for other things, you may already have this ID. By the way, if you do currently mail with your permit, that you can, after you checking that mail in and paying for it at the bulk mail unit, you can then take those pieces to the actual retail unit. Your permit will be accepted there. And one thing we want to ask you to do is if you've got more than one customer, in other words, you register for yourself, and then for every job you do for a customer, you need to ensure that they're registered. So if they've got a permit, they've got a number, and you can get that from them. Or if you're registering them as a first-time mailer, that's what you would want to do. And it's going to help you with your record keeping as well. So the tool is located at smp.usps.gov. And this tool just gives you everything you need. It really is simple. It's going to tell you which routes are around the location that you're targeting, that you're creating a mailing for. You can put in the address or the zip code, whatever is going to make the most sense for your campaign. You can drill down to the number of pieces based on the postage. It'll be there right available for you in real time. There's even a mapping tool that allows you to draw a circumference, a radius around a central point, and you can tighten it up or expand it as large as you'd like and be able to see exactly which routes make the most sense for you to saturate. What I did in terms of giving you some case studies or samples is I looked at some of the largest sales that have been made since this program started. I looked at the top 2,500 sales and found that the reasons that were given as to why they chose to use Every Door Direct Mail were better cost, they get a better delivery, and that it's just easy to use. The folks that were mailing were first-time mailers. It was all across the board. Folks that maybe had done marriage mailers before, freestanding inserts, door hangers, even the gorilla suit guy waving the sign. Well, maybe not him, but I thought we could sell against that. Here are some actual case studies of some mailings that were done over the past couple of months. The first one that's going to come up is a hospital, and they got a grant from the government to provide health care to underserved areas, and they did a newsletter as well as a postcard to invite to an open house. That was about 70,000 pieces. So think about it. If you were making 2 cents a piece as pure profit off of this, that could be what is that? $1,400. I mean, not bad. The Lazy Boy retailer had an overstock sale. He chose 5 zip codes he wanted to saturate, and that was 37,000 pieces. A public library wanted to invite kids to their classes for the summer, used Every Door Direct Mail for a job of 35,000 pieces. There was a church, let's go forward, a Baptist church that wanted to increase membership, and they used Every Door Direct Mail for their vacation Bible school, and they're going to use it for Christmas and Easter. That was 49,000 pieces. The next one up is a grocery. A grocer came out of the paper, and instead of using the inserts, decided to try Every Door Direct Mail, and that was 176,000 pieces. A city director of communications wanted to promote the recycling program, used Every Door Direct Mail, and that was 380,000 pieces. I'm just trying to give you ideas of businesses that you can approach with this product. And finally, there was a medical center that wanted to grow their client base, and what they did was put on health fairs. And so to encourage participation and invite people out, they sent Every Door Direct Mail. So it's quite a handy solution for anybody that wants to drive traffic and to that work well from word of mouth or geographic territories. This is an actual sample of a piece that was created internally by one of our sales reps, and they wanted to show businesses that they could target religious or nonprofit organizations. And by the way, there is a nonprofit rate associated with every door direct mail. That's even lower than the lowest 0.142. They do have to meet all the qualifications of nonprofit already with the Postal Service, but we can help you understand what those requirements are if you feel like you have an opportunity with a nonprofit and want to know more about that. One of the things I wanted to point out here, this sales rep did just a fabulous job of making an offer, and that's what I want to encourage and make sure you do and help your customers do. You always need to offer something. There's got the strength of a mail piece is still 40-40-20. It depends on the offer, and it depends on who's getting the piece before it depends on the creative. Most of the time we flip it around and spend more time on making it look pretty than we do on what we're offering. This actually is a property company that does multiple things. Evidently they do cleaning jobs as well as list property. But I want to show you a unique thing that they did. They actually co-branded with a company that offered air conditioning services. So because you've got all this real estate, because it's a flat and it's a larger size, don't let that dissuade you. Why don't you see if it's a strip center location, or if it's a company that is like this one, a property company that is made better because they've got non-competing companies that actually help them sell, then include them together. Go with a co-branded piece, and they did a very good job of also putting an offer on there of $10 off a call. One thing I didn't see was an expiration date. You must put a time frame that this offer is going to run out, so that number one, you'll know what's working, and as you test, if in the next piece you choose to do a different layout or add a different company, you can know which offer or which creative worked best. This is a furniture store, and he has got locations in several different states, and he did a couple of creative offers, $150 off, and he did that as a series of 3 coupons. So actually, you're brought in thinking you're going to get $150 off one purchase, but actually what happens is that is $50 off 3 separate purchase agreements. So it's a great way of inviting folks in, a very good offer, and then he had another version where he offered to double their money or give them 1 month free. Free is still the most powerful word in advertising. This was an interesting idea, and I didn't have any actual data that someone has tried it yet, but there are a lot of home-based businesses, and that's what this example was put to remind you of, is that when you do your every door direct mail to invite people to come in and try the product, don't forget, it's okay that you're saturating residences because there are so many home-based businesses. An average route of 550, you're talking maybe less than $80 in postage for every route that a person in their home might want to saturate, and therefore they can, instead of having to travel or to, spend lots of time on word of mouth or trying to develop leads, they can go ahead and saturate their neighborhood. My husband, in fact, is going to test the program because he has a home-based business, and we're excited about using one of the ICED franchises to do that. So we'll keep you. We're going to be a case study here real soon. Now, the next steps would be to register on the smp.usps.gov site, and what I would ask you to do is put ICED somewhere in the naming of your business, just so that we can collectively, if we need to, pull that information. And remember where I said strength was in numbers, that way we can get a true representation of the types of business and mailings that you guys are able to do with this product. And then first of all, be a product of the product. Try it for yourself. Make a good, strong offer maybe bundle some services, give them a free creative or a discount to get them in the door to try the product themselves. Don't forget to date it, and a good expiration date, and then start building your database of responders. I know some of you may be experienced mailers, and I'm preaching to the choir, but if this is your first time, your database will begin to be the most priceless thing that you have, the most important thing that you have. And what you're building is model and experience to help your other customers, because as Everydoor Direct Mail gets them in the door to trusting you as their marketing resource, then you can help them develop additional campaigns to cross-sell or upsell and start doing some target marketing for them, where we know mail is exceptionally strong in getting and retaining customers. It's getting that personal touch. So, explaining a little bit about the roles, I'm Kathy Hall, as I explained at the beginning, and what I provide is kind of the pre-production support. So the strategy, the planning, if you think about it in the creation phase, that's where the role that I bring. And to bring to ICED Houston is also knowing about the different strategies and what is working in the mailing industry. And for troubleshooting issues, though, if you have problem after you create your mail and need to get it deposited, you've got questions about talking to that facility or has it been delivered, things of that nature, we've got a service rep, Sandra Baradon, in our business service network that is going to help you in that respect. So again, all these resources will be made available to you through this presentation. And I've got a couple of questions, and I'm going to put a polling thing up, so if you could take a quick minute and let me know if you've got a permit. Go ahead and click that. I'll leave that for a few minutes, and then we'll, okay. And another question I'd like to ask is, is if you've ever done mailing before, and that may be representative of the folks that had permits, if you don't mind answering that question. I'll leave that a couple seconds more. And then just to get some feedback from you, okay, I'm going to go ahead and close that. Thank you so much for answering the questions. Is if you would like more information or just a more detailed training where you can talk back and we can really drill down into how do you use the EDDM, maybe even go over that mapping tool to let you get a feel for how that actually works. We'll leave that up a few minutes. I appreciate you guys giving me the feedback. Okay, and then we have a tool that may be helpful for you. There's a printer kit available, which gives you a lot of the collateral you probably already that you received in the mail, but it's kind of slicks and some better material there. It gives you samples of the format that you can use, and then actually there's a counter sign with some tear pads that customers could possibly take to remember to come check out this product and let you help them with that. And then there's going to be a DVD, a CD that will allow you to co-brand a piece of collateral that you can actually produce to make available to your customers. Thank you for answering that. And one last question. I just thought I'd like to know, would you guys like to know, how to sell mail with a webinar that just talks about how I sell mail? Would that be helpful to you as well? So this is only the beginning. We're hoping that this actually will be a test of a great partnership and a great way that we can provide the best that the Postal Service has to our partners, because that's really what the ICED family is. You guys are our partners. And so we want to provide you with the tools and the things that I know works for me. So, all right. Well, thank you all so much for answering those questions. The takeaways, again, that we're going to leave you with is the presentation, the poster. There's a white paper that is going to be made available to you called Saturation Mail, a Best Kept Secret. Now, the great, even better secret about that is it was before EDDM came out. I wanted you to read it because it has a great case study in it, and it also helps you see the types of businesses that can benefit from saturation mail. But every time you get to something that talks about a list or that talks about the number of pieces that have to go on around, guess what? You can skip over that because Every Door Direct Mail makes it simple. You don't even have to worry about that. And finally, I'm going to let Jay wrap up.
Well, thank you, Kathy. Yeah, we're really excited about this program. And again, thank you for working so hard over the past couple of months to get all this information together and get it out to our franchise owners. I've been researching this program. There's mail houses, large mail houses across the country that are starting to adopt this program. So it's very important that we've got this as part of our arsenal when we're talking to our customers to help with customer retention. I know in the past we've always promoted that we want to get in, we want to talk to our customers and find out what their true need is and then go out and get a mailing list tailored to them. Well, that works great in a lot of situations, but sometimes the customer does need to saturate an entire area. And when that comes into play, this is a perfect program for that. So again, thank you for the presentation today. I'd also like to mention, in addition to the poster and the white paper on saturation mail, we've also developed a postcard that we're going to be posting on the Owners Network that you can use to send out to your customer base to promote this program. So that'll be available as well. And again, thanks, Kathy. I really appreciate your time today.
All right. Well, we thank all of you. And again, this is just the beginning. We truly look forward to a successful and rewarding partnership, because when you win, we win. Thank you and have a great afternoon. Oh, and the questions that were posted, we will get back with you on the answers to each and every question. Thank you, Dawn. We didn't forget about them. There were questions. So thank you.